There's nothing wrong with Usher. Don't get me wrong, but we got a lot to talk about in the weather world on this Super Bowl Sunday night. We'll start things off, hopefully, with the live view of downtown. There you go. Nice evening on the SkyTrack camera here in the Derby City as we say good evening on Wait Weather Now. Carson Meredith with you. It's been an interesting game so far, hasn't it? And it's been an interesting day here in the Wave Weather Center. Things have escalated quite a bit with our snowfall forecast as we get towards Monday night, heading into early Tuesday as well. We were talking earlier this morning about how that snow looked like it was going to stay to our north, closer to Indianapolis. But as the day has gone on, that heavy snow band that we were a little concerned about to our north has moved way south on the latest models. And it's set up right over the Ohio River at this point. We're going to dive deeper into that as we give you a halftime update on this busy stretch of weather that rolls on. Hang on one second. I got to clear my throat. There we go. Let us know where you're watching from. If you got any questions, let us know. Let's jump right to it because I know the second half's going to be getting going here in just a little bit. The alert day is up for Monday night and early Tuesday, starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow night in particular, and it's going to last the Tuesday morning drive. Here's the thing, folks, with this system, there's going to be an incredibly sharp cutoff between who sees maybe several inches of snow and who maybe sees a couple of flakes. That's it. It's a very dynamic system, and the forcing with this system is going to be in the middle of the night, which obviously is the perfect recipe for that rain to transition to some snow. Let's see, Shonda says good evening from Jeffersonville. Karen is watching us in Elizabeth. Let's see. Angie says we're finally going to get some snow and it's going to melt the next day. Yes, it's not sticking around. By Tuesday morning, what's left of this mess will be gone. But the Tuesday morning drive could still be a little dicey, and that's really the reason why we have the alert day now in place. Here's the deal. As we mentioned, starts at 7 o'clock Monday night and will last through 9 Tuesday morning. It's going to be an incredibly narrow band of snow, maybe 20, 25 miles, if that. You'll see on our accumulation map, we kind of got a broad view of that heavy band of snow, but that's really because we just can't tell you 24 hours out where exactly this little heavy band of snow is going to land. Earlier today, we were thinking up near Indy. Now it looks like the greatest risk is along the Ohio River, and that position could still change. We look at more and more model data overnight tonight, tomorrow morning, even tomorrow afternoon. But for the time being, the main area of concern is going to be along the Ohio River. Travel will be tricky, especially overnight Monday night and early Tuesday morning before 9 o'clock. Fortunately, because this is going to be a very, very wet snow, it'll likely be more slush as opposed to ice. But that could still cause some issues, though, as we get towards that morning drive on Tuesday. Here's the winter weather advisory. This was issued earlier this afternoon by the Weather Service here in Louisville. It covers a good chunk of wave country, basically everybody except Jackson and Jennings County in Indiana, and everybody except Green, Taylor, and Adair in Kentucky. So Greensburg, Campbellsville, Columbia, sorry, you're not going to see a whole lot of snow this go round. Everybody else is under that advisory in purple, and that starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night and lasts until 7 a.m. on Tuesday. Amanda says, 7-year-old storm chaser Alex is watching from Radcliffe. Starting them young. I love it. That's great. Let's see, Ashley, am I even going to attempt to drive my son to school on Tuesday? We'll talk about that. I'm going to show you Futurecast here in a second. Wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, we don't make the school decisions. We just tell them to you. But I wouldn't be surprised we've had some maybe delayed starts or possibly some closures as we get towards Tuesday morning. Now let's take you outside on this Super Bowl night. It's all quiet. Temperature is 48 here in the city. Clouds are filtering back in, but you know what? It was a really nice day out there. Had a good bit of sunshine. We expected to see some sunshine, but had a decent bit of blue skies with those clouds. It's been a busy day, forgive me. Had those high temperatures in the low to mid 50s, and we'll actually do that again tomorrow before that rain starts to move back in. Right now it's quiet. We do have a tiny chance for a couple of showers tonight in southern Kentucky, really outside of our area, down closer to Bowling Green, the Tennessee state line. Not a big deal. The start of the day tomorrow will also be pretty good. A little bit of cloud cover. Clouds keep filtering in, of course, but we'll stay dry. No issues for the morning commute tomorrow. But there's the mess we're watching down to our south. Actually, there's two messes down to our south, one of which is across Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia. Could have some severe storms down that way later on tonight. But our main focus is what you see in the Texas Panhandle and in Oklahoma. Well, the low pressure with it is in eastern Texas right now. But that particular portion of this mess is going to set the stage for rain at first tomorrow afternoon, and then that change over to snow for some of us Monday night. Again, the cutoff with this is going to be incredibly tight. Somebody 10 miles away may get 2 to 4 inches of snow, while you at your house maybe got a dusting. That's how narrow this band of heavy snow is going to wind up being tomorrow night. Very interesting setup here in about 24 hours. Here's Futurecast. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Just fine. No issues for the morning drive. It's chilly. Temperatures in the mid-30s in a lot of spots. Then 10:30, bottom of your screen, you see some of those raindrops in southern Kentucky. That's the beginning of this mess. Rain becomes much more widespread as we go through the afternoon hours tomorrow. And I can't totally rule out a couple rumbles of thunder in our far, far southern counties, down near Adair, Greene, Taylor, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder. We're not worried about severe weather, but it's not impossible maybe to hear a few rumbles Monday afternoon down there. Everybody else just plain rain. That's it. Watch what happens as we go through the evening. Look how heavy those rainfall rates are. So you're going to have this setup like we talked about yesterday, or last night rather, where it's so heavy, that precipitation, that you have dynamic cooling. So the atmosphere cools down really, really quickly, quicker than it normally would. This is 7 o'clock Monday night. You start to see a little bit of that mix down, let's say, near Madisonville, near Hopkinsville. And as the evening goes on, here comes the rest of it. We're talking widespread, starting off as a wintry mix, and then eventually all snow. Now, this particular model that I'm showing you is the HER model, the high-resolution rapid refresh. And the HER has been very aggressive with bringing widespread snow mainly to our Kentucky counties tomorrow night. Again, we still got to nail down that exact zone that's going to see that heavy snow band tomorrow night. But this is just one idea as to what we could see. I still think the most significant impacts with this system will be along the Ohio River. For us here in the metro, let's say around 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we start to see that transition to a mix from a rain to a rain-snow mix. And then by 10 or 11 o'clock, we could start seeing all snow. That again here in the city. But look at those temperatures. They're hovering right at or just above freezing. That could work in our favor, at least at first. But at the same time, if it's snowing or raining or whatever it might be at that point, if it's heavy, that'll cool down the atmosphere quicker. And those heavy snowfall rates will make up for that warm ground and those temperatures just above freezing. And that's where that accumulation potential will come into play. So this is 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Let's keep going. This is towards 1 a.m. Pretty much all snow everywhere in Kentucky, at least according to the HER model. And the further south and east you are, the lower those accumulations will likely be, not only because it's going to take a while longer to get the wintry weather, the mix and the snow in your backyard, but those temperatures will also hover a little bit above freezing for a little while longer. But this is a quick system. By 4 o'clock Tuesday morning, it's gone. But those temperatures will still be close to freezing, and that's why we got to watch out for black ice. Maybe some of that slush freezes just a little bit, causing a few slick spots here and there. And also, as we go through Tuesday morning, it's going to stay chilly, for at least for a few hours. But once we get past, let's say 9 o'clock Tuesday, we're above freezing, and this stuff will start to melt. One thing I'll also mention that I've kind of noticed this evening looking over the data, got a few more clouds potentially filtering in on Tuesday, especially in our eastern counties. Can't totally rule out maybe a few flurries in southern Indiana Tuesday afternoon, but it doesn't look like a huge deal at this point. Cheryl's asking, any impacts traveling tomorrow? Family's flight was canceled. That's not good. Again, the earlier in the day, the better as far as the winter weather potential or the impacts on the roads. It'll just be rain to start. As far as when the roads start to get a little messy here in the city, I would say after midnight tomorrow night. That's when we get in that zone where we have to watch out for a few slick spots. And like we talked about, this is a wet snow. It's a heavy snow. Ashley was asking about snowman weather, snowman snow. Yeah, it'll be pretty good, assuming you get enough snow to make a snowman. But anyway, that wet snow will lead to just slush as opposed to ice on the roads for the most part. Let's see. Jose is asking about E-Town. We'll see that transition in E-Town, let's say around 11 o'clock to midnight tomorrow night. And we could see, I'll show you the accumulation forecast here in a second. We could see a little bit of a coating in E-Town. And again, remember, if we keep seeing these models trend further and further and further south, we'll have to adjust our forecast to where that heavier band could move south. It could also move back north. It could also stay right where it is. Models always struggle with these kind of setups. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. We got several more runs of data to look at tonight, overnight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, even tomorrow night as we're getting into this winter weather potential. Jacob's still planning on driving from Litchfield to Lexington. Should be fine. Around 10 o'clock, you should be okay. Beyond that, like I wouldn't put off your trip until past midnight. Then it could get a little tricky. Travis says, good old Ohio Valley weather. You aren't kidding. We go from, what was it, the mid-60s on Friday, and now here we are talking about a good little thump of snow 3 days later. It's always something around here. Barry says, turn down Usher, turn up Wave. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't have a problem with Usher. He's great. But, you know, not everybody's type, so that's why we're here at halftime on Wave Weather Now. Kevin says, come on, March 20th. Yeah, that's the first day of spring. It's actually, it's a smidge earlier this year. It's not March 20th. It's March 19th, technicality, but I think we're all ready for spring. Jason says, hello from Cloverport. Hello, Jason. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Derek's asking, will the roads be slick in Kentuckiana next Wednesday? Well, that's quite a ways out, but for this upcoming Wednesday on Valentine's Day, it's looking great. If you have any plans, lots of sunshine, highs in the mid-50s. Not too bad. Let's see. Becky's asking from Taylorsville towards Lawrenceburg. Again, the further south and east you are for now, the longer it's going to take for this rain to change over to snow. So that area should be in decent shape until after midnight tomorrow night. So let's keep going here, shall we? Since I'm sure the game's about to get back going. Here's the HER model. I use this one quite a bit. I know it's a lot of numbers. I'm going to show you which ones I want you to pay attention to. And that, of course, is the snowfall forecast, right? And the HER has really been the more aggressive model today. Let me redo that circle. That's a mess. I'm a scientist, not an artist. But you see the HER spitting out close to 2 inches of snow in the metro tomorrow night. Now, again, some of that is initially going to melt on contact, but the HER has definitely had the highest snowfall totals out of most of our guidance so far with this system. And there's a decent chance somebody is going to see upwards of 2, maybe 3 inches of snow. And if you get these heavier snow bands within snow bands, if you will, we can't rule out a few isolated spots seeing maybe 4 inches of snow. It's definitely not out of the question. So that's the HER. Also notice the temperatures hovering right at freezing Tuesday morning. Keep in mind, these numbers are from Ali International. So you go out in the suburbs, we'll likely see those temperatures around 30 or 31. So some of this is going to stick. There will be some slush on the roads Tuesday morning. I don't think it's going to be undrivable necessarily, but you just got to plan on some extra time for your Tuesday morning commute. Now we turn our attention to the euro. And you'll notice once all the numbers come up that the euro's not showing much in the way of snow. Why, you ask? Well, again, these models keep trying to push the system further south. So the latest run of the euro, that is, suggesting maybe a lot of the snow actually stays in central Kentucky. I'm going to look through some more data once I get off here on Wave Weather Now and get you updated as we get towards the 11 o'clock newscast tonight. But that southern trend may very well continue as we go through the next 24 hours or so. So without further ado, here's our snowfall forecast. This can still change. This can still change. Remember that, okay? Main zone right now is right along the Ohio River from Cincinnati through Carrollton, through Bedford, LaGrange, here in Louisville, Brandenburg, Hardinsburg. Somebody in that area could see upwards of 4 inches of snow. Most of you in that zone will see around 2 inches of snow. But if you get some of those more heavy rates falling, those heavier snow rates, that's when that 3 to 4 inch potential comes into play. But look how sharp the cutoff is with this system. You go up towards Seymour, look like it'd be a good spot to get maybe an inch or two of snow with this system earlier today. Seymour, you may not see much of anything now. Forget just flakes. Maybe stay totally dry. This is a very, very complex setup, and 10 or 20 miles is going to make all the difference in deciding how much snow you're going to see in your backyard. But for the time being, the main area of concern is right along the Ohio River, but we could still see that track shift further to the south, maybe go back towards the north. I don't expect that because this low pressure is riding in from the south and west, but we'll keep a close eye on it. So I'll let you digest that accumulation map a little more while I look at a couple more questions. Let's see. Shonda says everything always hangs along the river. Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? Sandy. Louisville, Kentucky, the only place in America where you can have all 4 seasons in 24 hours. Sure feels that way, doesn't it? Oh boy, LA chiming in. If it snows, I heard Carson and Brian are going to rap about snow. Oh boy. LA, if you weren't with us last night, he's one of our engineers here at Wave, and he's got a running joke with me and Brian Good about potentially being weather rappers. We'll just leave it at that for now. Thanks, LA, for watching us. So again, that's pretty much what we're looking at this point. We're going to look over more data as we go through the next couple of hours. I'll look through some additional data coming in before we go on the air tonight at 11, and we'll have an updated look at this next round of winter weather. Just a friendly reminder that we are not done with the season just yet. About 5 weeks from now is when spring officially starts. But until then, we've got potentially several more waves of rain and snow to go. That's going to do it for us on this Sunday evening. I'm sure the second half is about to get going. Enjoy the rest of the game. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And we will see you back here on our newscast at 11 o'clock. And, of course, Brian Good actually filling in for Tawana tomorrow on Sunrise. We'll have an updated look at this forecast as this alert day continues for another round of snow tomorrow night and into Tuesday. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.